All right, you don't believe it. It is noon and it is Norm, aka the beard guy here. Yes, I'm on time. The first time ever in over 200 episodes. But anyways, it is Norm Farrar, aka the beard guy, and I am the host of Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
I know you guys are in shock, and there's probably a whole bunch of people that are going to be tuning in 5 minutes later. But anyways, I thought we'd start to try to do these podcasts on time for everybody. Anyway, today we got a great show. We're going to be talking about, and this is really cool. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this, social impact and digital fundraising for e-commerce in 2022. So we've got a first-time guest, head of social impact at ShoppingGives, really cool organization. Check them out. It's a startup focused on building economy of giving by creating a positive impact through everyday purchases. Now, not only are they part of the show today, I am, although they're waiting for me, I'm taking forever, but I am 100% on board with what they're doing, and they're going to be involved with some of our brands. So I wanted to, when I heard about them, I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to hear about what they do and the importance of what they do. So now, our guest today is Molly Trerotola. I hope I said that right. Trerotola. Molly, correct me if I said that wrong. But anyways, she's the head of relationships and organizations, and she is involved with, or has worked with, I should say. Why can't I talk today? It must be something Kelsey did. Anyways, she has led relationships with organizations like the Malala Fund, Refugees International, Do Something, Red Nose Day, and has been featured in Forbes, Chronicles of Philanthropy, and NBC. Look, I got through that little snippet. Now, the next snippet, just a word from our sponsor. I wanted to give a quick shout out and say thank you to Global Wired Advisors for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. Global Wired Advisors is a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. For more information, please call Chris Schifferling and his team over at globalwiredadvisors.com. All right. So one of the things, like Kelsey, come on, join the party.
All right, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right. Before we get into anything, I'm just looking at kind of some of the comments, but let us know how your Black Friday and Cyber Monday went. I've been kind of, in some of the groups, and I've been hearing a little bit of chatter back and forth, good, bad, and ugly. So give us your good, bad, and ugly. I just want to know. And Kels, what do you got for us?
All right, everyone. You guys know the drill. Smash those like buttons. We also have a special bonus giveaway that we're going to be doing. We have one about the reviews that people have been doing for us. So we're doing a bonus Wheel of Kelsey for that. And then we have another giveaway for today's episode. So stick around for that. There's going to be more information on how to enter later on. Also want to just give everyone an update. If you go over to our Lunch with Norm website, you'll be able to see our events. So you can see all the guests that we have on for December. So if you're interested, if you want to see who's ahead, we also have Patreon, the Patreon events, Clubhouse, and any Amazon and e-commerce conferences coming up too. So there's a bunch of stuff happening. Also just want to give a shout out to our Patreon members. We have a special guest coming up in December that we're super excited about. Stephen Black is coming on and he's going to be doing a special group mentorship program. So that's going to be great. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, go over to our Lunch with Norm website, hit the membership button, and it'll take you to the different tiers that are available. But again, welcome Marina. We've got Jeff, Manny, Rad. It's great to see everyone. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments sections. This is like a Q&A session. We go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you're watching from the recording. And if you're watching as a replay, just skip all of this, get right into the action with Molly. And yeah, that's it for me.
Very good, Kels. Very good. We just came off of like a 2.5 hour staff meeting, and my head's fried, by the way. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any questions, throw them over in the comments section. Other than that, sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, enjoy the show, and welcome Molly.
Hi, Norm.
Do
Happy
not
Friday.
do not be afraid. Okay, we're not going to back you into a corner. It's pretty casual, and happy Friday to you.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
You know, I heard from you because we were reaching out to a charity, and they told us about your organization. Got on the phone and we started talking a little bit, and it was incredible, like what you guys are doing. And I know it's not specifically about what you're doing, but it is about what corporations can do to be just good corporate citizens. I don't think that's talked about enough. Like, we have a brand that, you know, will provide. First of all, I can go down so many rabbit holes with this. Why should people become good corporate citizens? Dumb question, but what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, that is a loaded question.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I worked in corporate social responsibility for about 8 years now. I've touched social impact from different angles, working in-house at a nonprofit, on the agency side, managing communications campaigns around a Fortune 500 company's advancement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And through all of these experiences, working directly with nonprofits and companies, it has become more evident that while, you know, governments can drive change, companies have a huge responsibility because of the capital and resources they have to step up to the plate and help you know, further social causes. And I think companies are doing, and you know, in that sense, companies themselves can become corporate citizens and can do so ethically. And in the last couple of years, during COVID and with you know, social issues that have come up, we've seen not only a need but a requirement for companies to make commitments, financial commitments, social commitments. And it's not just, you know, the philanthropy department that's held at arm's length and makes a one-time donation to an organization, but social impact really has to be embedded in the company's business model, because it supports their bottom line, and they should do good in the world, and consumers are buying with their values. So to answer your question, it's not only why they should, but why they have to become good corporate citizens.
It's interesting that you said that, because you can dictate something from the top down. And I'll give you an example. I worked in Hawaii, and we wanted to provide a company that had the values, the culture of Hawaiians. And so I talked to a kahuna, and I said, oh, this is what I was really proud. Oh, this is what we're doing. Oh, we could do these events. He goes, but you don't have the culture built into your corporate culture. He says, all you're doing is you're building a corporation, but you've completely forgot about us. And if you're not willing to do that, I'm not willing to support you. And it was like, what do you mean? I was doing this. I completely had my eye off the prize. And he came in, we brought him in, and we said, okay, how can we improve that? How can we build this into our corporate policies, our policies, everything that we do about a company, you know, hiring policies. Now, this is going down a whole different rabbit hole than what we're talking about today.
Well, no, not even necessarily. I think like authenticity and social impact is incredibly important, and millennials and Gen Zers are looking for that authentic approach to social impact and where they're spending their money. So I think what you just touched on a really interesting point, where, you know, they can spot inauthentic social impact. It's not just relationship or reputation scrubbing anymore. It really needs to be an authentic and like genuine piece of the company's values.
And one of the things, and first of all, most of today's topic is going to be about donations, working with charities. One of the things I absolutely hate is inauthentic corporations. Like I can see when I go in and I buy a product and they're spouting that they're going to give a portion, okay, a portion. What is that portion? But a portion of their profits to this charity. And then you open up and you see that the donation is 100% custom branded around the product. Everything is about the bloody product. And you've got this little link at the bottom to donate or something like they've completely, all they're doing is it's a promotional, it's a marketing tool. And I think that sucks. I think that like for us, I'd rather not even put, and I mean, I don't want to spout my own, but the way I think others should probably do it, this is just my opinion, is it should be more about the charity and the donation rather than the branding on the insert or on the landing page. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a really delicate dance, the messaging around social impact, because companies obviously want to be able to communicate the good that they're doing, but do so authentically and not just for the purpose of driving sales. While cause marketing can have a really positive impact on a company's bottom line, we want to believe that companies do good for the purpose of doing good and not just doing good because it will boost their bottom lines. But at the end of the day, if they can leverage their resources and networks and customer spending to raise more for a cause that they care about or causes their customers care about, then that's more money in the hands of nonprofits. But going back to authenticity and being genuine in corporate social responsibility, in the last couple of years, we've really seen consumers demand that from the brands they shop at. In the midst of everything that was happening with BLM last year, companies were making these vague commitments and statements about supporting BLM, and their customers raised their hand and were like, yeah, but what are you doing? What does that mean for where you're putting your money and how you're changing your internal policies? So I think it's really interesting to see how customers are holding companies accountable and using their buying power to do so.
Where can people start? So we deal mostly on this podcast. It's Amazon primarily, and other e-commerce platforms, all product based. Okay. Where do you start?
So it really depends. It starts with a desire to do good and an understanding that doing good is, again, no longer just a nice to have, but a requirement for companies to be successful. And at ShoppingGives, we work with retailers of all sizes, from one-person run Shopify stores all the way to multi-billion-dollar luxury brands like Coach. And we partner with Kenneth Cole and Steve Madden, powering their donations to nonprofits. And every company has a different social impact strategy. Some will have existing relationships with nonprofits because of cause areas their company is really committed to addressing, and other companies that want to better understand what philanthropic causes their customers care about, and that information, that critical information, helps them determine where, as a company, they're spending their money. But to get started, a company just needs to want to give back. And at ShoppingGives, we support organizations, we support brands in their initiatives. Some know they want to give back, but not really how to implement it. And that's where our technology solutions really come into play, providing a streamlined approach and a really turnkey solution to give back effectively and easily to nonprofits of all shapes and sizes.
we don't usually talk about specific apps, but I think it's important in this episode that we do. Um, and it's important because one of the things that I liked about your app was that it controls. You can see when you go in and somebody buys your product, and if you're saying you're giving 5% back, 5% is actually going back. It's trackable. The charity knows that you're giving back 5%. It's not a portion of, like, again, it's very vague. What is that portion? And I'm not sure, like with your app, are you allowed to do a portion of, like, can you do something vague, or does it have to be a specific amount?
Yeah, so actually, you're touching on a really interesting piece, which is about cause marketing compliance law. So when companies say we're donating a percentage of purchase or we're donating a set dollar amount, they actually have to um, they have to project the actual number donation instead of letting customers, calculate in their heads. And when companies leverage ShoppingGives technology, it sits as a widget on their product page, and companies can donate either a percentage of that product's cost, so a percentage of the purchase, which in the widget will say, $1.50 or $2.63. It really just depends on the cost of the product. Or brands can donate a set dollar amount. They can invite customers to add on a donation or round up their purchase to make a donation. It's really customizable for the brand, but we're very, it's like running in the background of our technology. We're really buttoned up with cause marketing compliance and regulation to ensure that we are offering something to brands that is compliant and allows them to fundraise for any of the nonprofits in our database. And that cause marketing compliance is a big piece of it.
One of the things I liked is that, like, for one of our products that we still have to talk about offline, but the 5%. So we want to give 5% back, and the part that got my attention was I can put whether the person wants to give an additional $5, $10, $25, where a lot of times people do want to donate, to a proper, whatever the cause is. And so your app actually allows people to go and you can select different amounts and other to donate to the cause, which is really cool. I love it. So we will be having it on our brand very, very, Molly, I'm
so
telling
excited.
you, it's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm so excited. We can make it happen for you next week.
Very good.
Yeah, I mean, so like the beauty of the technology, and I know we don't, have to talk about the app in detail, but is that companies can adjust and change their giving strategy super quickly. They can donate 1% across the board, and then for a certain cause awareness day like Breast Cancer Awareness Month or Earth Day in the spring, they can up their donation to 50% and change the benefiting nonprofits. Whereas in bringing back the compliance piece, in order to do that compliantly with develop a partnership between a brand and nonprofit, it takes a lot of capital and time and energy on both the brand and nonprofit side, and it's very expensive. And that's why smaller brands often don't engage in these efforts, because they just don't have the resources to do so. And then on the other side, small nonprofits don't have access to brand dollars because they don't have the resources to engage in these types of partnerships. So what the technology does is democratize social impact on both sides, giving brands of all sizes and nonprofits of all sizes the opportunity to engage in these types of relationships really easily.
Is it worth, or should we even look at offering 2 or 3 different options, or is it, I am interested in this is where it's going? I'm just wondering, is it better to offer options?
You mean options of different
So somebody
nonprofits?
wants to buy, that 5% can go to one of 5 different causes.
Yeah, so we see variations of giving strategies across the board. Some of our brand partners will have an existing relationship with a nonprofit and default all giving on their e-commerce site to that single organization. Other brands will let their customers choose which nonprofit they want to give back to. And that taps into our database of 1.8 million US registered charities, which makes our technology really unique. Yeah. As long as a nonprofit is 501c3 registered and in good standing with the IRS, they're part of our database, and their supporters, if their supporters are shopping at one of our 2,000 plus brand partners, they can easily donate a percentage of their purchase to it. So it really, it embeds social impact within the brand's e-commerce journey, bringing it front and center and generating really a lot of goodwill and loyalty with their customers. But brands can also create a cohort of, or a collection of products that are dedicated to one nonprofit. So for example, all purple products going to the Alzheimer's Association, or all red products going to Red Nose Day. And then brands can also recommend up to 6 featured causes. So like across the board of environmental sustainability, really allowing their customers to engage genuinely in the social impact journey, and giving their customers a stake in where the money is going.
Okay, so just because I'll forget, I do want to let everybody know that we do have a giveaway today. Kelsey, what is the giveaway today?
All right, so today's giveaway, we're going to do, this is the first ever, but we're going to do a month of our Platinum Lunch with Norm Patreon membership. So this is a group membership. This is something that you'll get a private group lesson with Stephen Black this month. You'll get a social media lesson with me, Q&A session, and then you have 2 sessions with Norm, Q&A session, so you can pick his brain with the group. You'll also get this month's SOP, Lunch with Norm mug, and a private label Legion calendar. So there's a whole bunch of goodies you get with this package.
It's worth just the calendar's worth it. Come on.
The calendar's great. But that is hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. So just put that over into the comment section, and you'll be entered. If you want to tag 2 people, just like Stephen Lawson did, you'll be entered twice. So let us know, and yeah.
Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah, the calendar is awesome.
I'm interested in the calendar.
Oh my gosh. The calendar, yeah, just go over to Lunch with Norm and you'll see the calendar. And if you've signed up for the Private Label Legion newsletter, you'll see the images that come out every Friday with Tim and I. And yeah, I don't even know when they come out, what they are. So I don't know what it's going to be this week, Kelsey. But anyways, I'm sure I'll find out right after this. Anyways, they're awesome. So we've brought out a calendar just for fun, and you'll get one, whoever wins today. All right, Molly. So let's talk about e-commerce, like e-commerce social impact, and again, why it's so important. We talked about the app a bit, but why is it so important for e-commerce sellers to get involved?
I think it really goes back to trends in the nonprofit space, actually, when it comes to fundraising. So, and the rise of cross-sector partnerships between nonprofits and brands. We've seen more and more of that. Brands want to do good in their corporate social responsibility departments. They are addressing sustainability, like social and governance, and philanthropy. So our technology really sits on the philanthropy side, and gives brands a creative and worthwhile option and opportunity to, again, give back to causes they care about and their customers care about. Where e-commerce comes into play is really embedding the social impact within their customer journey, and making their customers part of, or inviting their customers to be a part of their process and participate actively in brands giving back. Also giving customers a voice, and that ties back to brands that let customers choose who to give to. To compare the technology we have to something that your listeners may be familiar with, is Amazon Smile. So Amazon Smile lets Amazon shoppers donate 0.5% of their purchase on Amazon to a nonprofit of their choice. And while these are micro donations, they really add up over time to create macro impact. And that's exactly what our technology does, but directly on brands' websites. So really gives brands of all sizes the power to embed that social impact in their e-commerce journey. But going back to, where this sits in nonprofits' digital fundraising strategies, it's critically important for nonprofits to diversify their fundraising strategies and not put all of their eggs in one basket, like event fundraising or individual fundraising. We've seen a lot of this with the rise of peer-based fundraising with like Facebook birthday fundraisers. And as part of that trend, nonprofits are looking for more creative ways to engage their supporters and raise money to address their mission critical work. And that's where this new like innovative third-party fundraising sits. It's a new and like creative way that brands can partner with nonprofits and really support their work actively. Another piece of it that's on trend with nonprofits is this like subscription-based, recurring based model of fundraising. That helps kind of reduce the seasonality of nonprofit fundraising, where a lot of like fundraising happens at the end of the year and with launching with Giving Tuesday. And that's still a major trend, but nonprofits are looking to change that and have a more recurring and sustainable fundraising throughout the year. So technology like ShoppingGives provides that opportunity to nonprofits to have recurring micro donations throughout the year and a source of funding that they can really rely on.
We work with a lot of influencers, and questions that have come in our group are, how do you find an influencer? What platform do you go to? And a lot of the times we'll talk about the personality. You've got to make sure that your personality, or at least your company's personality or brand personality, fits in with that influencer.
Sure.
How do you go out? How do you reach these nonprofits, and how do you know if they're the right fit?
So the way we work with nonprofits at ShoppingGives is pretty unique. So again, we have 1.8 million nonprofits in our database, but we also partner more closely with certain organizations to help them facilitate their existing relationships with brands, like what we're doing with you and Face Africa. And then we work closely with organizations to provide fundraising opportunities to our brand partners. Some will come to us knowing exactly who they want to give back to, but others will have a vague idea of a cause area and not really the organization. And that's where our existing relationships come into play, where we can say, oh, I know of this incredible nonprofit that's highly rated on Charity Navigator, and this is a fundraiser they're running, and I can make a recommendation for your brand to give back to them. So those are some of the ways we work with nonprofits. In the past, we've run brand-based coalitions with organizations, really galvanizing the brand community to pool their fundraising efforts through e-commerce and support a certain organization's fundraiser, which we recently did with Global Green over the summer and help them raise a significant source of funding to run one of their programs. And it's really opportunistic right now, but what I love is the opportunity to serve as social impact strategists for these brands and help create linkages, serve as a matchmaker between nonprofits and retailers.
Yeah, I was talking to Kelsey just before we came on, and he was asking me about Great Retail Reset. He asked me what it was. I had no idea. What is a Great Retail Reset?
The Great Retail Reset is kind of a reckoning brands are facing right now. Going back to something I mentioned earlier, like the times, they are a changing. Customers are buying with their values and the people behind the brands instead of just solely the products. And we see that more concentrated with younger consumers, millennials and Gen Zers, but they want to know that the companies they're buying from are ethical and have values they align with. And then again, like if that's not the case, then these customers will put their money somewhere else. And as a solution, or as a response to the Great Retail Reset, we've seen such a surge in brands coming to us asking for this type of solution to power their social impact and bring it more front and center with their customers. And when we think of like a 360 approach to social impact, your people, your community, your products, it's important to look at social impact from a 360-degree lens and how you can really integrate it. And by brands answering to the Great Retail Reset, that's definitely part of it.
So there you go, Kels. Answer to your question. All right. Okay. So before we do anything further, we need to take a quick break. Word from our sponsor.
Just give me a second. You really just throw
Kels,
those out there. All right, here we go.
This is a professional podcast, Molly. Just wanted to let you know that. Thank you, Sellerize, for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. Sellerize is your comprehensive solution for your everyday business needs. Everything you need to grow and scale your Amazon business is just one click away. For more information, contact Dima and his team over at Sellerize.com. And remember, Sellerize is with one R. Okay, and I just wanted to say a lot of people here. Michael, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a little while. Victor, hey, it's awesome to see you back. Just saw Jessica Rosalind just joined. And yes, hey, Beardos, and right back at you, Rosalind. I will be seeing you, I think, next week. But we've got a bunch of people on here that are returning listeners. So thank you so much for being part of the community. Okay, so let's go back and start talking about buying with values. You mentioned this. You said a lot of Gen Zers are doing this now. I'm finding that I'm doing the same thing. If somebody is providing that or just putting it in one of their bullet points on Amazon or in an insert card, which we've already talked about that. That's one of the ways that we get people's interest to go over and donate 5%. But this is really changing, isn't it? Like over the last 5 years, maybe even less, people are buying with values. Mm-hmm. And it's so important. So I don't know if you want to even go down a little bit further on that rabbit hole. I know you just talked a little bit about it.
Yeah. So I think, on the heels of Cyber Week with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then Giving Tuesday was like a response to all the customer spending and converting those into donations. I think what we're seeing is not fewer brands participating in Black Friday, but kind of a shift. And there's been some buzz around like Giving Tuesday being the new Black Friday. And brands are stepping away from Black Friday and focusing more on what they can do to give back on Giving Tuesday. We've seen this with REI, like closing their doors, and Patagonia donating all of the money, all of their revenue from Black Friday to causes they care about. And I think it's just really interesting to see how you can harness the power of e-commerce and convert it into social impact and doing good through these types of partnerships. And that's all in response to customers buying more with their values. And we hear this from the brand side more and more, that they want to know, what causes their customers care about, and they can develop e-commerce strategies as a part of that. So if someone makes a purchase and donates to a cause like the American Cancer Society or Malala Fund, as part of that purchase, the brand can then target them afterwards and say, if you want to give again or make a post-purchase donation to this nonprofit, like here's the opportunity to do so. So yes, it does support when brands integrate social impact into their e-commerce journey, they do often see an increase in average order value, really supporting their bottom line. But it also gives customers an opportunity to do more good with their money. And and participate in a brand's social impact and decide where the funding goes.
You know, I think another important area that we need to talk about is compliance. So, you know, if you're going to get involved with a company and you say that you're going to be giving X number of dollars, I'm sure there are some jerks that just try to leverage that and don't report properly. But there's some serious consequences if you are not providing the money back to the charity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that that happens pretty often where charities have to chase after brands for the funding the brands have pledged or said they were
Hmm.
going to commit. And because of these challenges, not only in the technological execution of cause marketing partnerships, but the compliance piece, and then also like the marketing of it, nonprofits will create a lot of barriers just out of necessity um, to developing these partnerships with brands. So they'll have like a donation minimum. Nonprofits are also some are very conservative with their name and logo usage. And because of that, they can't engage in all of the partnerships that brands reach out to them, with interest. And that's again kind of where our technology comes into play, is offering nonprofits the opportunity to engage smaller brands who reach out to them and do want to fundraise for them, because we take the bandwidth and the compliance piece off of their plate, because that's a huge barrier to entry for both the brands and nonprofits. And a lot of smaller brands especially, they end up fundraising for nonprofits without really knowing that there's this compliance piece. It's kind of this necessary evil. And as part of that, we try to educate both brands and nonprofits about cause marketing compliance, in addition to offering it to them through the platform.
Uh, you know, there could be a seller, a small seller out there that's just trying to do something right. They're just trying to be nice and give something back. Um, I had this experience. So I was trying to provide a portion of my sales back to a nonprofit, but it was a much larger nonprofit. And when I got there was a contract that I had to sign. They had different levels of partnership. And I was just starting out. I didn't know if this product was going to be a home run or if it was going to be a dud. But they had a minimum requirement, like you were just talking about, and I had to guarantee. I think I was going to say 150, but I think it was $50,000 in
Yeah, and you're just
donations.
trying to do good.
Yeah, and I had to like I would have had to, so I had to walk away from it. But luckily, I read it.
Yeah.
I
I mean, and they have those limits in place because they're protecting their brand and they're protecting the team's bandwidth. Nonprofits have bigger fish to fry, and these types of facilitating these types of relationships takes a lot from their team. And so they have these limits in place really to protect their programs so they can focus their time and energy and money on their mission critical work. But at the same time, of course, if a brand wants to support them with financial resources, obviously the nonprofit would welcome those resources, but it's not always possible.
right. Okay, so let's talk about the good stuff. Let's
Okay.
talk about Shopping Gives and why you're the go-to in this type. Oh, first of all, you're an app and you integrate seamlessly with Shopify. Is that correct?
Yes, we do. We can actually integrate with any CMS, but the majority of our brand partners are on Shopify. We have an easy to integrate, low barrier to entry Shopify app called the Change Commerce app that brands of all sizes can engage in. And then we also work hand in hand with like medium and large size brands to help them implement more customized giving strategies through our tech solutions. But really, like our out of the box solution is completely self service, and brands can start giving in a day if they want to.
Now, there was another one that it was minor. I forget what it cost, but it made complete sense to us to look at. And so you've got basically it's free, I think, and then you've got the next tier, which you can customize and put different offers. And I forget everything, but can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so I mean, just like with any SaaS platform, there are different levels that we design to be appropriate for, what the brand is trying to do from a customized perspective with their giving strategy, but then also appropriate for the brand size based on the number of transactions they do. And the first step to a brand working with us is really just having a conversation, and we can guide them in a direction. But our giving strategies can really be customized to the nth degree. So I touched on them a little earlier, but
Yeah.
brands can give like a percentage back, a set dollar amount, create a collection of products, have customer roundup, add-on donations. We have integrations with other SaaS platforms, so they can donate loyalty points. And yeah, really, we're just trying to make it super easy for brands to give back in any way. But what makes ShoppingGives really unique is on the nonprofit side. Oh, so also, we power and manage all of the brand's donations to the nonprofits, so the nonprofits don't have to chase after the brand for the donation. We handle all of the donation disbursement through some of our partners at Stripe and PayPal, and we donate 100% of what's raised for nonprofits to those organizations. And that's through the ShoppingGives Foundation that we're able to do that. So we never take a cut of the donations, and we never charge nonprofits a platform fee. And that makes our platform really unique in that sense. And we're very committed to that. So it's a free resource for nonprofits.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I got coffee coming in. I have to break. There we go.
And
So
I'll take a sip of my water.
there we go. We've got to get branded Lunch with Norm water bottles as well, Kels. You just put that on the list. Okay. So you can go in very inexpensively, but what is that next tier? Can we talk about the pricing?
Sure. Yeah. So that next tier sits at about 2,800, between 28 and 32, depending on what the brand signs on. But it's when you think of the money brands are donating, and then also the cost of developing or coming up with a cause marketing partnership with commercial co-venture, we actually save brands time and money just through integrating our technology. So that is the tier up, and then after that, it's about $11,000 for our partner, and then we also for larger brands we do have a pro tier, and that is fully dependent on what the brand is trying to accomplish.
Okay, very good. Okay, so some of the things, how can you help brands? Like they'll come to you and you've got this platform, it's fantastic. But I know we had our initial conversation, it was very helpful. But how can you help brands? If they're reaching out and they want to do something, they reach out to your organization, how can you help them? Like how can you
First and
guide them?
foremost, yeah. So first and foremost, with the technology and implementing the technology, we have a lot of resources. We have a great customer support team and account managers that help with the actual implementation. And then we give brands special access to our database of nonprofit partners. So it gives them the ability to fundraise for any organization in our database on a dime, give their customers the opportunity to donate to a cause they care about. So not just the large household name organizations, but if a customer is shopping at one of our brand partners and they want to support their local shelter or soup kitchen down the road, they're able to do so just by searching that organization's name or EIN number, which is specific to 501c3s in our database. We also provide fundraising opportunities for our giving economy. So not only with access to actually fundraise for these organizations, but we develop special partnerships with nonprofits, giving our brand partners marketing resources and access to rights to use the nonprofit's name and logo to be really effective in their fundraisers. So we develop these special campaigns with our nonprofit partners and then provide those opportunities to our giving economy of brand partners. So for example, we ran a partnership with National Breast Cancer Foundation around Breast Cancer Awareness Month. and raised a significant amount of funding just by engaging our brand community. And that type of access to fundraise for that nonprofit and have name and logo usage rights wouldn't have otherwise been available to the brands of that size. They would have had to reach out to the nonprofit and have this back and forth and contracting to develop that partnership. And that's just an example of the type of relationship and fundraising opportunity that we offer to brands.
Do you have a brand marketplace?
So it's interesting you asked that. We're actually developing one right now of brands that let customers choose who to donate to, and that's because we've gotten a lot of those requests on the nonprofit side. Nonprofits really want to engage with us, and especially during shopping and giving season, which we are in the heart of right now. They want to share with their supporters over email and social media, like, hey, if you're doing any shopping, you can shop at these brands and select us to support too. So we're actually developing that marketplace right now. Otherwise, we do have a list of our some of our premier brand partners on the ShoppingGives website. We partner with organizations like Kenneth Cole, Steve Madden, Blind Barber. Notori is a really wonderful partner of ours, and Dr. Bronner's that let their customers choose. But we're working on a brand marketplace.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool. That never came up. But the other thing, you talked about Coach at the very beginning.
Yes.
Can you give us just like some other examples of companies that you've worked with, what you've done with them?
Yeah, so I love talking about Notori because they have engaged. They're a wonderful partner of ours, very involved, and so open to changing their giving strategy, and they do a lot of direct response fundraising too. Their social impact efforts are really inspiring. So across the board, Notori gives 1% back to 1% back to nonprofit that their customers choose, but then sometimes they'll create specific activations as a form of direct response fundraising. So recently we saw them give 50% of all sales to Women for Women International in light of the recent crisis in Afghanistan, and they were fundraising to support Afghan women as part of that. And we share these fundraising opportunities and make recommendations to our brand partners for who they can fundraise to for COVID relief or for Earth Day. And it's inspiring to see which brands like to engage in those fundraising opportunities.
All right. That's the end of my questions. So you're off the hook until Kelsey asks any of the comments, any questions in the comments.
Let's hear it,
yeah,
Kelsey.
we have a couple questions from Victor. So let me see. The first one, we're manufacturing wood products in India and would like to establish a tree planting program, or more accurately, contribute to one. Ideally along the lines of, we'll do X for every item purchased. Do you have any recommendations for that, or where to get started?
Yeah, so let me just say first off, any brand that individuals can make a purchase either online or in store, ShoppingGives can support. So any like direct retailer, D2C, B2C technology, if someone can make a purchase on your website, then you can use ShoppingGives. In terms of, so what you're talking about is aligning an impact story with the donation amount. Like by making this purchase, we will plant 5 trees or provide 5 meals to the homeless. And that all of that is customizable within our technology. And I actually we have a great relationship with One Tree Planted. So several of our brand partners give back to One Tree Planted and have that terminology within the ShoppingGives widget on their products pages. Like this product will plant 5 trees, for example. So the answer is yes, we can do that.
Very good.
Okay, great. And if anyone does have any more questions, feel free to put them over into the comment section. We have one more from Victor. When supporting a charity, what are the protocols for referencing their name, using their logo, etc.?
Victor, also a great question. This gets into kind of tricky territory with the compliance and partnerships. So just by nature of having the ShoppingGives technology embedded on your website, So we have name and logo usage rights with the nonprofits that are within the technology. If you're looking for name and logo permissions for actually marketing the fundraiser on social media or within email or on your website, brands do need explicit permission from the nonprofit. So we always we urge brands to connect with the organization to obtain that name and logo permission. And then we also have a segment of nonprofit partners that have provided blanket name and logo permission, which is why going through our technology provides more access to market these fundraisers. So we have special partnerships with a group of nonprofits and often recommend those organizations to our brand partners to support. Like we have a relationship with Feeding America. And yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Good question.
To our last question, I threw out a question to the audience, and if you guys have any ideas or your opinions on this, but if you are thinking about giving back to your e-com business, what's holding you back? Let us know. Is it a time thing? Is it you don't know where to look? You don't know where to start? Let us know in the comment sections, and I think it'd be pretty interesting to see what's the thing that people are holding back when they're thinking about giving back. But our last question is from Victor as well. Does your app integrate with Kickstarter, Indiegogo? Thank you, Victor, for all these questions.
Yeah, thanks, Victor. Not at this time, but great question.
Okay. All right. I think that is it. It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey, I think. Molly, you've never seen the Wheel of Kelsey.
No, I'm excited
Just
for it.
wait.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Okay, there we go. Where did Kelsey go?
Oh, there I am.
Okay.
All
right.
right, I'm here. All right, so let me just erase this hashtag here. All
There's
right,
one
thank
more
you,
person
everyone.
that came in, by the way, Kelsey. You might want
Oh, is
to.
there?
Yeah.
Okay, we got you. All right, thank you, everyone who entered today's Wheel of Kelsey. If you are the winner, please reach out to me at k@lunchwithnorm.com. You have 48 hours to connect with me, and we'll get you that prize. So I'll shuffle these up. So we do this.
It'll be Tony. He wins every
It'll
time.
be Tony, you think? All right, it is Manny.
All right. We have
All
a
the way
different
from
winner this
Germany.
time. Oh my gosh.
Congrats, Manny.
All right. And then we actually have one more giveaway.
Oh, this is this is really good. Yep.
So we've been asking our audience if they could give us some reviews on Google and Facebook, and we did get some people who did some awesome reviews, and they've been entered to win a consultation with Lauren Petrullo from Monday's episode. So thank you everyone who participated, and here we go.
Yeah, this is like a $1,000 giveaway.
It is,
by the way.
yeah. And Lauren is a pro at Facebook ads, so
there we go.
the winner.
I don't know if Browan's listening today, but congrats. That's an awesome one.
Yeah, I have her information. I'll reach out to her. So great.
All right. Fantastic. Molly, you are so off the hook.
Well, this was a great conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad we could have it. We just don't hear enough of this. I think it's the perfect time of year to get started. And now this is kind of
Tis
put,
the season of giving.
Yeah, and it's put a little bit of heat under my butt because I know we have to talk to finish off our deal. So that'll be later on today, I hope.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We're so excited to help facilitate the partnership with Face Africa. And if you want to support other nonprofits in the future, you can do so.
Very good. Okay, so stick around. We're just it'll just take a minute, but I would like to talk to you just briefly once we come off the podcast, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope that you learned something from today's podcast. I can't stress it enough. And the organization and the app is incredible. So check it out. And see what you can do. Let us know if you are giving, if you've started, if this has kind of put a little bit of heat under your butt. Anyways, Monday, we're we're going to be joined by John Tilley, and we're going to be talking about what makes an Amazon business successful, especially in 2022. So John's been with us a couple times. He's always delivering some really great information. So that's going to be on Monday. Now, before I get to the Boy Wonder, let's hear from our sponsor. Thank you, Z.co, for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. Are you looking to take your e-commerce business from local to global? You can with the help of Z and their brand new app. That's right. You can track live shipments with push notifications, get detailed lead times for each stage of your shipment, and store all compliance and VAT reclaim documents in the palm of your hand, all while listening to Lunch with Norm. Ready to expand your e-com empire and take your Amazon FBA business global? Use the link in the description to learn more about Z's new app that's now available on desktop and mobile. That's Z.co, ZEE.co. All right, Kels, where are you?
All right. So another great episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Manny, I hope you enjoy the Patreon. So if you are dying to get a hold of the Patreon, you didn't quite win today, that's okay. You can go visit Lunch with Norm and click on the membership tab at the top. That's the Lunch with Norm website, and you'll be able to see all the information. We have a couple different tiers, all the way up from a $3 a month for coffee, just kind of a donation thing to us, or you can go to our platinum membership. That's where you get all the good stuff. That is guest lessons, that's Q&A sessions with Norm and I, and you get SOPs, mugs, M&Ms, so much more. So check it out, lunchwithnorm.com, and click on that membership button to find that out. If you haven't yet, please smash those like buttons. Share this out to anyone you think would be interested in giving back this holiday season or just in general. And I think we covered everything. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Subscribe to us if you're watching from YouTube. That's right there, the big red button that says subscribe, and hit that bell so you get all the notifications.
I don't see it, Kels. Is it just because I'm
it's right
old?
there. It's right
Or do I have to
just-
use my
just
Barney imagination, whatever? Just wondering.
But yeah. But anyways, thank you everyone, and thank you everyone who gave us those reviews. Those really helped out. We
Yes,
really
thank you,
appreciate it.
everybody.
Yeah, even just listening to the podcast, that's more than enough. We really do appreciate everything from our community, and we hope that you guys enjoyed our little contribution contest that we've been doing in the Lunch with Norm Facebook group. So it's awesome. Thank you guys so much, and thank you DK, Jessica Rabbit, Manny, Miss F, Francine from France. We've got Manny from Germany. We got an international group. Awesome to see. And I think that's it from me.
Okay, so thank you for joining us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. As Kelsey said, we could not do this without you. We love our community. Anything that we can do, or if you have any suggestions for the podcast, just let us know. But guys, enjoy your week and enjoy the rest of your day.
Lunch with Norm.